Hi there, listener. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. Just so you know, this show contains explicit language and some possible adult themes. Listeners under 13 or anyone who could be offended by the subject matter are given caution. Hello, I'm Wesley Van Hoosen, and this is Good Food for Bad Friends. On this podcast, I'll have a different guest every week to talk about their history with food. Along with each episode, you can find recipes inspired by the featured guest on our website, goodfoodbadfriends.com. The first thing I used to think of when Derek was ever brought up were his shoes. The guy has got some mad shoe game. He also has a perfectly timbered voice that deserves to be on the radio. I've sat many a night listening to him record vocals over and over while working with him on his music, only for them to all sound perfect and practically identical to the one before. Suffice it to say, he's a natural master at dubbing his own voice. I met Derek when I was 22. At that time, I had a bad habit of setting myself up for failure with new relationships. I put on a sort of imitation of myself when I met new people, because I wasn't comfortable with the person I was at that time. I knew I had faults and mental issues, but I was driven to make myself be okay. Newsflash, that doesn't work. Go to a psychiatrist and go see a therapist. At that time, all relationships were difficult for me, because I didn't yet have the confidence in myself to know that I could be satisfied with who I was and of the bigger picture at the same time. Instead of doing the right thing and admitting to myself that I had these underlying problems and seeking help for them, I put on this parody of myself in front of these new roommates, and I was in for a great shock. Derek didn't put up with it. None of them did. These four guys I was sharing a house with saw right through me. Rather than admonish me for it, though, they told me I didn't need to be that way, that I was in a safe space and could be who I really was. I remember Derek specifically telling me that he would rather be friends with the real, raw, crying, and vulnerable me than a put-on version of myself. You know that scene from SpongeBob SquarePants where the little SpongeBob's in his brain throw out everything but fine dining and breathing, and he's left dumbstruck when he can't remember his name?
We threw out his name!
The feeling was something like that. I had never had that sort of blind acceptance in my life before. Besides the brotherly friendship that we have, Derek has also been a pivotal influence in my musical career. He engineered and helped write and produce my first album, and he has a very bright future ahead with his group, Oh Jupiter. He's also the one that coined the name of this project. Besides the shoes, he's also got mad title game. I look up to this guy so much, and I always go to him for his guidance and wisdom on anything from projects to real life. Please join me in welcoming our next bad friend to the show, my good friend, Derek Zoia. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So this is Derek.
Hello.
And Derek's super cool. And my first question for you, and you had these questions, but you said you only looked at them like one time. So
One time, yeah.
So my first thing is, what is your first vivid memory of food?
Can it be like positive?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
negative? Okay.
Yeah, anything, yeah.
So my mom used to make these things called turkey patties,
Okay.
which they're not hard to describe because it's just ground turkey with onions, I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh.
And they grew on me a little bit as I got older to the point where I could actually eat them. But
Yeah.
I never actually enjoyed it. They are pretty disgusting as an idea and like in practice.
Okay.
But they were like my dad's favorite things, so we just ate them all the fucking time.
I feel like dads like the most disgusting foods.
Yeah,
Like my
Yeah.
dad likes patty melts, which I think are horrible.
like a sandwich.
It's like
that-
white bread with like cheese, and it's melted over, like, you can get a tuna melt or a patty melt, and obviously
Okay.
one's melted over tuna. The other one's melted over like a burger patty with like really old caramelized onions on top of it.
Hmm.
Like, it's just It's just a mishmash of like yuck to me.
Sounds like a texture nightmare.
It's a lot, yeah, because the Wonder Bread gets really squidgy
Right.
after. Yeah. Okay, so the tuna patties is the first.
Turkey
Turkey, I'm
patty.
sorry,
Ground
turkey,
ground
yeah.
turkey was the problem in that formula.
We
yeah.
grew up with ground turkey a lot too.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Good times.
So another part of this is, is there like any food that you have never really forgotten the flavor of, or anything that's like, if you eat it, you are like transported in time back to when you first had it?
Okay, so I mean, I definitely don't eat those anymore, so I can't say that that's my answer.
No,
But,
yeah. Is there a good food?
Yeah. Well, I guess those like cheesy potato things I make.
Yeah. Oh,
for
for sure.
every like Friendsgiving that we have.
Yeah.
I always think of my mom making those for holidays every time I eat them.
That's an Easter food for us.
Is
for
it?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom calls it Lent loaf because it has no meat in it. And
It's really any holiday for us that we make.
yeah,
those.
my mom makes it now. Like, I don't know. I love my mom, but actually no, Dina makes it. But I like my mom's version better.
Cool Aunt Dina.
Cool Aunt Dina
Shout out
makes
to
it.
Cool
But no, my mom's was really good. But yours is like times 20. It's insane how
Yeah.
intense yours is. It's like my mac and cheese.
Yeah. Probably not as heavy, but yeah.
Okay.
No, your mac and cheese is so
it's lethal.
it's life changing.
Josh, when I fed you guys that, Josh hugged me for 5 solid minutes.
Did he really?
He's like, "What? Thank you, whatever you've done."
For the guy that eats bricks of cheese.
He fell asleep with a wheel of brie.
Yeah.
And I'm totally going to bring that up on his episode.
Excellent. Can't wait to hear about that. I don't think I've ever asked him about it, so.
No, I don't remember it as much, but I remember Taylor like losing her shit over it. So anyway, we're talking about your cheesy potatoes. So that's like something that is.
Yeah, it's like it does for me what whiskey does. Just like warms my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very Midwestern.
Yeah.
For sure. And you're from, Aaron and I talked about this too. You're from like the cheese state.
Yes.
So,
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Kenosha.
The 262. Barely Wisconsin, but we're still proud.
Hey, you guys have a bomb-ass grocery store. Woodman's.
Yeah, for sure. And
that place is amazing.
Shout out Marsh Cheese Castle. None of these things are sponsors.
I've never
of this show,
been
but
there, and I think Aaron was supposed to take me this year, but we just, obviously we couldn't.
When I was little, it didn't look like an actual castle. It just looked like a warehouse, and then the name was Marsh Cheese Castle. I'd be like, oh, cool. So I was never really interested in going.
Right.
And then when they renovated it, I was like, oh, holy shit, this place looks dope. It has like pillars and shit, and even the inside is decorated like a castle. It's kind of cool. So yeah, all your local meats, cheeses, they have a bar there. It's pretty awesome.
All I can imagine is
just
getting fucking trashed on like beer and charcuterie plates.
I wanted to get trashed there,
Yeah.
but the last time I was there, one of only 2 times, we were like passing through.
Oh,
So
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, no, because when we went, we were going to Milwaukee, so we stopped and just at that store. That store still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Good God, go if you it's called Woodman's. Go.
Yeah. Next time we head that direction, we'll go to Marsh Cheese Castle. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
For sure. Okay.
So, like, what was a common meal in your house? Like, just on a typical like weekday night.
We ate a lot of chicken taco rice. That was a big thing, just because it's apparently easy to make.
Yeah.
I was told, and everyone seemed to be pretty on board with it. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but out of all the other things that my dad requested, it was up there.
So is it like one dish?
Yeah.
Chicken taco rice.
So it's rice with taco seasoning, and then shredded chicken, I think.
So it's almost like
It's been a very long
time.
time.
Kind of like a bowl almost. Like you can make it into like a Mexican bowl.
Yeah. It's got like a hybrid Mexican dish vibe.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it sounds kind of casserole-y too, like if you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually, tuna casserole was another one. That's probably one of my favorites. I still, when I go back home, that's what I request for my mom to make. I love that shit.
We exhausted the tuna boat in my house because we ate fucking tuna helper all the goddamn time. tuna tetra fucking zini.
I used to have that type of thing in like my school lunches on occasion, like just like the packs of pre-made pre-season tuna shit.
Oh yeah, well those
Yeah.
are good, like the albacore, like the
Yeah.
Starkist tuna creations. We're not sponsored, and like,
So many things we've shouted out.
so
that are
many
not sponsored.
Woodman's. We're not sponsored,
No.
but I like those. I usually put those just over just like plain rice with Worcestershire sauce.
What's the one with the phrase about chicken? Oh, chicken of the sea.
Yeah.
What's the best tuna? Chicken of the sea.
Yeah, chicken of the sea,
Nice.
or tuna of the land brand chicken. That's an SNL joke.
Sure. Yeah.
Toilet paper of the outhouse brand. It's like keeps going on and on. It's a Jessica Simpson sketch. It's actually really funny from back in the day. Yeah, no, tuna was definitely. Did you guys ever do? Well, you said ground turkey. Was there ever like ground turkey and hamburger helper? That was super. What we did.
No, like the easier stuff would have been like the stuff that's essentially like mix it together and microwave
Comes
it
in a
type
box.
deal. Yeah, boxed foods. Good way to put that. Would be like something mixed with macaroni and cheese. That was like
Got
when
it.
my friends came over and stuff. That's what I ate. It was like hot dogs cut up. It's everyone's classic.
That's for sure.
I would still eat that.
I still do.
Still a
eat
trash
that.
person at heart. So
That's the thing is like as I've learned how to cook, I like know how to not be a trash eating,
that's
porcupine.
recently I'm learning to not be a trash person because I'm actually
hard.
learning how to cook now. So
Well, for me, it's my body's like, yeah, no, we can't do that anymore.
yeah, there's that too. Yeah,
It's like ice cream. You must be fucking joking. Like milk. Oh my god! Last night I had horchata and my stomach hurt for like 20 minutes. It was just sugar and dairy. Like,
it's so sad the things that we can't eat anymore.
I know
Ugh.
spicy food. I can't do like mustard, which is so weird.
Yeah.
Mustard gives me intense heartburn.
I love spicy food still. The only way it messes me up is the whole acid reflux thing, but
Yeah.
I still eat it. So
Yeah.
don't tell my ENT.
It's No, I still eat ice cream. Actually, I'm trying to cut sugar right now, but it's not going very well.
That's a tough one.
It is, especially in a quarantine when you're like, I'm probably not going to work for the rest of the year, so I don't care.
Do you like stevia? Are you a stevia guy?
No, not to be like super uppity, but I have a super sensitive palate.
Oh,
And
okay.
I can taste. Some people really can't taste. It's just sweet.
Oh, I can. It just doesn't bother me. It's
totally
different.
bothers
It's very
me.
different.
Like the Zevia soda or whatever. That shit's gross. I'd
Mhm.
rather drink fizzy water than that.
What I like, and actually this like Bai tea, whatever that I have with me,
Yeah.
is 1 gram of sugar and then the rest is stevia. And that's why it's a 10-calorie drink.
Yeah. I guess the only like diet drink I would ever drink is Diet Pepsi, and it's because that's like a remembered flavor for me. My grandparents only drink Diet Pepsi.
I can't stand Diet Pepsi.
I love Diet Pepsi. I hate regular Pepsi unless it's with Taco Bell. You need that intensity of sweet to like wash down all that salt. Like
There's that. Yeah, for sure. Like McDonald's and stuff was another thing that we ate a lot of McDonald's when I was a kid.
that was our
Unfortunately.
treat. That was like a weekly thing for us.
But it was mainly because my mom loved Diet Coke. So we would choose that consistently over Taco Bell.
Well, we never went to Taco Bell because we have a place in my hometown called Taco Inn.
Huh.
And my mother, like, she loves that place. It's okay.
We didn't have any local taco.
Oh, we also
places.
have
That would've
we
been-
have Amigos too, which I like. See, I like Amigos, but that is just, I don't know what it is. I think it's MSG. But there's just something, and I'm like, because I get really high blood pressure after I eat it, and my stomach hurts. I don't know. I'm not accusing you. I love you, Amigos, but there's like local Mexican places definitely in my hometown. But we have like 6 Taco Bells though, so
we have a couple in Kenosha, but it was one of those things that we would either go if my mom wasn't going, or like if we had just had McDonald's too much.
Yeah. It's like we need to change up the fast food
Yeah.
game. We had McDonald's, but that was because my mom and I eventually too, we love McDonald's Coke and fries. Like
Right.
We went to Disney World one year, and there was a cart that just sold McDonald's Coke and fries. And my mom was
Really?
like, "What?" Like her mind was blown.
There's
And
something about their soda mixture though.
they put. I think don't they say they put extra sugar in their Coke?
I've never looked into it. I don't know.
I've read this. I don't know if it's like BuzzFeed or HuffPost, but it's like McDonald's actually puts extra flavoring
Extra
to
crack.
make it taste more. Yeah,
Extra Coke.
Extra Coke.
Yeah.
Either way, McDonald's Coke is the best.
Yeah. Hands down.
Yeah. What's next? Yeah. Oh, so do you have any distinct memories of food that you would have at holidays, like Christmas or Easter? I'm trying to think of other holidays that are Christian.
All the Christian
I'm thinking of the
holidays.
Catholic holidays because those are the only ones when I would go to church for a while.
So the cheesy potato thing for sure.
Yeah,
Always ranked number 1 on that list.
for sure.
For Thanksgiving, my dad still is usually the one to make the turkey. So
Yes, we've had
we
this
have talked
conversation.
about this. Yeah, which I have no issue going on the record that Wesley's turkey the last 2 years has beaten my dad's turkey.
Yeah.
Just by a smidge, Dad. I'm sorry. But
I'm going to tell you the secret, though. You just got to shove that thing full of veggies in the middle for flavor, and you got to just pack the butter inside of that damn thing. And
yeah,
I don't baste it. I just cover it if it starts to get a little too dark, but I don't
sure.
really do the basting thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've never watched his process, so I'm not sure what he does, but it's just a little bit better.
It's really funny because it's sort of like Taylor, our friend Taylor, who she has the Thanksgiving episode or the episode. I guess it is her episode for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
She compared it. She's like, it's like watching a little Chinese woman haul like a 23-pound turkey onto a fucking. She's like, it's very entertaining to watch you wrestle a turkey.
Yeah, I mean those gatherings are usually pretty big, so you gotta get a big one.
I did 2 turkeys, I think.
That's right.
Last year,
You did.
Yeah, I made like a big one for
Yeah.
like the showcase turkey, and I had like a little 12-pounder on.
Did we get through it?
We did. Well, we got through the first turkey really fast, and I had the other one in the oven, and then I think the second one was like the second turkey, but I think people still took some home. I just distinctly recall that so the last Thanksgiving we had at Warner, your old address.
Mm-hmm.
We told people just bring dessert. Bad idea.
Oh yeah.
We had
that was rough.
20 pies. Everyone took a whole pie home.
It's ridiculous.
It was fucking hilarious.
And some of it was pretty similar too.
Oh,
So
there
I
were
just-
10 pumpkin pies.
Yeah.
We were like, who the hell likes pumpkin pie? And then
Didn't you make dessert too?
No, I don't do dessert because
Oh, really?
Bernard does banana pudding.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm like, I don't, because I mean, the funny thing too is I'm total mom on that day because if people want to come see me, they have to come to the kitchen to say hi.
Yeah, which I always felt really bad about that. Cause that's why I wanted to alleviate how much you were doing, because the first year that we had like the big Friendsgivings a few years ago.
Yeah.
And you were just in the kitchen the whole time.
I
was like, I know that's your area.
Yeah.
And that's like what you're best at. But if you're lacking the mingling part of it, which is
Sure.
easily the best part of the whole situation, you should have some of that pressure
I
off
suppose.
of you, I think.
See, the way I think about it is, and this is maybe just how I grew up, but on Thanksgiving Day, we didn't talk to my mom. Like she was if you wanted to talk to my mom, you had to go in the kitchen. But even then, she'd kick you out. But but for me, I guess sorry to interrupt you.
No, keep going.
I was gonna say, like for me, it's sort of like I enjoy that aspect of it because what I get is really personal one-on-ones with everybody. So everyone comes back and it's like, oh my God, Wesley's, you're back here, of course. And then
smells great, looks
good.
And
then I talk with them for like 5 minutes, and then
that's a good point.
They get their wine and they get the fuck out. And it's and then it's like this like rotating, fucking Ferris wheel. It's not a Ferris. What's the other one?
Another thing I can't ride.
God damn it.
Actually, Ferris wheels are okay. I
know,
just
I
don't do spinny things.
I don't do Ferris wheels because I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Fucking Carousel.
Yeah.
It's a musical by Rodgers and Hammerstein. God damn it. But no, it becomes this like revolving door. That's a better analogy of
There you go.
just people kind of coming in and saying hi. And here's the other thing too, I think that I've realized, because every year you're like, oh, we feel really bad you didn't get to talk to anybody. I'm like, it's fine, guys. Like,
right.
For me, it's like, it is the one day a year where I have to prove to myself that I can still fucking do this. So it is.
I guess we just don't see your interactions with everyone.
Yeah,
so.
and I like the small interactions because usually it's, people just, you get to feel the thanks in a different way. Because you're with other people in the kitchen and you're just talking about, one-on-one about your holiday plans. And a lot of the time, too, people are like, so what are you doing? And they'll sit and watch me cook, which is kind of fun, too, because I get like an audience for 10 minutes.
Little cooking show.
A little bit. Because I remember one year, they used to have like the little bar at Warner that people could sit at. I would literally be sitting there cutting up vegetables, and everyone would just be quietly watching and drinking. And I'm like, will you fuckers talk? Like,
to be fair, people gather in the kitchen anyway. And that's the only exception is Thanksgiving, because rightfully so, you're like getting most people out of the kitchen. But the rest of the time, like no matter how many people it is or what we're doing, if it's a group of people, everyone ends up in the kitchen.
All I remember of last year was I had like people everyone was getting a drink like at the same time.
Yeah.
It was getting super fucking loud. And
perfect storm.
And I think Matt was helping me with something, like Harvey was helping with something. And I was trying to tell him what to do. He's like, I can't fucking hear you, bro. And I was like, everyone get the fuck out. Like, Nick, get them the fuck out. And Nick's like, you heard the man, get out. Like, it was super
Nick being
funny.
The enforcer. Yeah.
It was really funny. And they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And it's like, it's fine. Just get your drinks. Like,
there's also the year that the oven broke.
It's
right before.
It did, but we're very resourceful people because luckily you had a spare kitchen.
The downstairs.
That was never used.
And a very cool landlord.
I think, what's funny is that during that Famsgiving, I think the reason you thought I didn't talk to anybody is because I fucking like escaped to that other one all the time to like get the hell out of the hot kitchen because that place was a little cooler.
Yeah,
so
and
me
for
and
sure.
Taylor would
people
just go
couldn't
down there
really follow you down there either.
No,
so,
it would just be me and Taylor because she always helps me on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But anyway, about your holidays growing up, like, are there any other specific like food things or traditions that's maybe
My Aunt Kathy, one of the better cooks in our family for sure. Really, everything she made was great. She has a similar cheesy casserole, but it's the tater tot version. Oh, it's very different. I definitely like my mom's better, but it's a nice change up. And
reminds me of like tater tot casserole almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, like deviled eggs are always a big deal.
Ooh, I do love a good deviled egg.
And they're always different. Like my cousin Allie's been making them lately, and they're a nice twist to what I was used to before that. Mm-hmm. I'm not honestly sure what the differences are, but I'm like, if it's good, it's good. I'll tell you, I appreciate it, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much green bean casserole. It's really the only other thing I can think of. Not a fan, no.
Hate it. It's the cream of mushroom soup and canned.
There's cream of mushroom in the cheesy potato.
Yes, but I don't mind it there because you've got a lot of different textures going on.
For sure.
Green bean
but
casserole.
But those little dark bits, those are
and I don't mind that because I don't care for mushrooms, but if it's in something and it's
you know what, I don't either. So this is kind of proving your point.
Yeah,
because I'm not against cream of mushroom for most recipes, especially like green bean casserole, but I don't eat mushrooms.
The other thing you can do with cream of mushroom soup if you're super like afraid of biting into a mushroom is just put it in a food processor before you put it in anything.
Oh, okay.
And it'll just break all that shit up.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with green bean casserole though, I mean, maybe if I tried it a different way I'd like it, but the way we grew up with it was mushy green beans from a can, cream of mushroom soup, and whatever the fuck else goes in it, and then the French onions on top. But when you bite into it, it's just like a really hot mush of like kind of waterlogged green beans with very salty cream of mushroom soup.
It is pretty salty.
It's also really bad for you.
The level of it's misleading for sure.
It's definitely like a 50s dish. Like it's a retro Thanksgiving dish that never died.
And I'm definitely like a huge texture person. Like I don't really care as much how it tastes if the texture is weird. It's why I don't eat mushrooms. I don't.
Sure.
The
yeah.
taste doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's only a texture problem. So for some reason though, that dish, maybe it's the way it's typically made in my family. I don't know. I wish I could offer more advice on that, but
I think it's just the way that we had it. It was definitely like
if it's watery, that's not good.
Well, the other thing I think that is a little bit different. We both grew up in the Midwest.
Yeah.
But we grew up in very different parts of the Midwest.
You grew up in the true Midwest.
I grew up in the heartland from Nebraska.
Exactly.
And our food was like very churchy inspired food, like church basement food. But I'm sure everyone has that around the country. But Midwestern church basement food is really like, it's very regional. And to me, green bean casserole was like not just a Thanksgiving food. That was offered at a casserole table.
That's fair. We had a lot of potlucks in church, and that was usually there too.
Yeah.
I guess I'm more so thinking in recent history.
Sure.
Because haven't gone to church in quite some time. So more recently,
the walls bleed when I walk in. So
more recently, yeah, it's a holiday thing.
That is a holiday food. Yeah. Did you like sweet potatoes?
I do now.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't really have those when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like, you gotta have
I'm sure they were there. I wasn't interested.
They had to be, my mom would make them in like a 70s Pyrex that was like brown colored. It's like the groovy
I know exactly
Pyrex.
what you mean.
Had a lid. The lid had, somehow it's never shattered. And she would
Pyrex
make
is
them,
legit.
and then, they'd be nice and syrupy and watery with a bunch of burnt marshmallows on top. But I like that though. I like the really toasty marshmallows.
Do you like cranberry sauce?
God, Aaron and I talked about this.
Did you really? Okay.
No, it's fine. I like the one I make for Thanksgiving.
So it's not from the can.
Yuck. No.
So
Hate the gelatinous
this is a huge
one.
like contentious thing in my family, I feel like, because
I feel like there's a lot of people right now.
Especially my dad's side. Everyone's super used to the canned shit. And then this one year, a couple years ago, my uncle's girlfriend, we'll call her that. I don't know what her title is, but she made like this more homemade cranberry sauce. I didn't try it because I don't like cranberry sauce anyway, but just reading the reactions of people around the table, they were like, "This is sacrilege." It was hilarious, and she felt so bad, but she kind of gave everyone pretext like, this is not what you're used to with cranberry sauce.
The thing with cranberry sauce with me is that so I was already traumatized by it because the one year that was my job, it didn't come out of the can in the perfect form. And two of my family members legit got pissed about it.
Just because it wasn't can shaped.
Why is it all messed up? And it's like now we can't slice it. And it's like, it's a sauce, not a jelly. Like, so that's like my take and the reason I started making it too was literally just out of rebellion. I was like, I fucking hate this ocean spray urinary tract infection schmear. And I want to make the real thing. And the funny thing too is that, cranberries at Thanksgiving, cheap. It's like $1.99 a bag. That may not be cheap to some people, but I mean, comparing that though, and it's better for you because the way I do it, it's cranberries with cloves and orange and ginger and like spices, like mulling spices, and just a little bit of sugar. And it's like, this is probably the healthiest thing on the table.
And it's probably more sauce-like.
It is. It's spreadable because you cook it till it gels.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm curious about then. I want to know, and maybe you can find out with your book that you're writing and everything, but like, what was the OG cranberry sauce? Was it, I'm sure it didn't come out of the can right away. There's no way that's true. So was it more sauce-like, and did we just bastardize it over time? That sounds like the American thing to do. I'm just choosing to blame Americans.
And the thing is if we're speaking sort of in historical terms, the way I think about it is, in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, there was a massive obsession with Jell-O, and it's so weird.
Oh.
Everyone did Jell-O stuff, so I wonder if it got made into that, and kind of if it was kind of like the cool, trendy food in like the 60s or 70s. I don't know, because canned food in America is mostly a product of like post-war, like canned food,
For
the
sure.
way it expanded after,
Yeah.
because it was useful in the military.
So like, oh, it's convenient. Like,
And
let's keep
Britain
doing
had
this.
hopped on that boat long before. Britain's
Right.
food is mostly made up of just tinned things, as they would call it. But I wonder, the OG cranberry sauce. That might be. I'm definitely gonna have to do a deep dive.
I
on
for
that
sure
now.
want to know.
Oh, that's so cool.
The history of cranberry sauce stretches all the way back to 1796, when it was originally published in the first known cookbook authored by an American, The Art of Cookery by Amelia Simmons. Although it is said that it probably did not appear at the first Thanksgiving dinner because of the scarcity of sugar. The most basic and original recipe is actually just 3 ingredients: cranberries, sugar, and a small amount of water. There are many different variations of the sauce, most of which include some kind of citrus like orange and, of course, cinnamon. The dish itself hails from New England, most likely Massachusetts. Cranberries grow there en masse. It was first offered to consumers as a seasonal food in 1912 in Hanson, Massachusetts. The jellied, canned version debuted in 1941, at which point that version was made available year-round.
All right. So you did talk a lot about like who was doing the cooking in your family. Like it was like
My aunt, my mom, my dad for like usually the meat of the meal.
Sure,
is
that was
prepared.
how my dad was
either
too.
grilling or the turkey. For
Yeah.
holidays and stuff.
My mom did the turkey, but my dad is definitely the grill master of my family.
Okay.
I can't grill for shit. And it's so funny because everyone thinks I can, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'll fucking undercook
It depends what it is. Yeah. for
Oh
me.
man, one year we did a barbecue at your guys' old place. We're like, Wesley, we need your help. I'm like, I can't fucking help you because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. It also depends on the grill too. So.
More stuff for you as a kid. What was your favorite place to go out to eat as a child? It can be anything too.
So to this day,
Mm-hmm.
especially speaking of my hometown,
Yeah.
Ruffalo's Pizza. It's a local chain. There was 3 of them, and now
Mhm.
there's 2 of them. I think
Is it spelled like Mark Ruffalo?
that's actually his family.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
Little Kenosha history. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo is from the Italian Ruffalo family of Kenosha. I went to high school with like one of his nieces, or
Oh, cool.
yeah. So a pretty huge family in Kenosha, and they have that chain, and then they have Villa de Carlos downtown Kenosha.
Wow.
So both very good pizza, but Villa de Carlos is more like thin crust,
Okay.
and then the hand tossed of Ruffalo's is what is. I'm assuming that's why they're like big.
Yeah.
That's their emphasis.
So you guys, do you find there's like, well, speaking of pizza, do you find
Yeah.
that there is a Wisconsinite obsession with deep dish at all? Because I think this is interesting.
No, I actually don't.
That's
I
I
haven't
was gonna
observed
say.
that at all.
That's what I was gonna say.
Hand tossed is a like staple.
I feel like that also is like sort of Midwestern now to get hand tossed pizza still.
yeah.
Because if you go out into the east, you get New York style, and they've
Sure.
got like, and then there's the Detroit style, which is kind of like deep dish, but it's not. It's like pan style.
Yeah, I've never
kinda.
had Detroit
It's really
pizza.
good.
Yeah.
And then on the West Coast, everything's made of other stuff now, so it's very different.
I think there will be. That's an interesting question though, because there's going to be more Chicago chains that creep toward Kenosha, being as close as it is.
They're starting to go out west too.
Yeah.
They're in Las Vegas. I mean, we saw 2 Chicago chains in Las Vegas. There's Giordano's and Pizzeria Uno.
Yeah.
Just like what? It's like,
So there's going to be, especially nearby, there's going to be more of a deep dish
For sure.
presence. Yeah.
I do like though that like that's cool. I had no idea that was in relation, because I've heard of Ruffalo's Pizza just looking through
Yeah.
like places in this area you need to go to.
There's not a lot of places that I will say like this is my favorite
For
of this
sure.
category, but
Yeah.
that pizza, like either jalapenos if I want hot, or green pepper for
Mhm.
the same texture or similar texture,
Yeah,
and then Italian sausage,
for sure.
which I haven't asked or look into it, but I think a lot of the places you go in Kenosha, the meat is locally sourced.
Okay.
I don't know if this is true. I heard a rumor that even the McDonald's uses local beef.
I think that's true because in Nebraska, that's definitely marketed there.
Okay.
And McDonald's is really good in Nebraska. Like if you get a quarter pounder,
That's what I'm saying.
Really
There's a
good.
difference in like if you get a quarter pounder in Kenosha
like
versus like Chicago.
Yeah.
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 So that's why I think like their Italian sausage and their pizza is just a little bit better than
dope,
other
though.
pizzas.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes it,
yeah.
Unique and stuff.
They also have like these potato wedges that are
Oh fuck, I love
incredible.
potato
They're so
wedges.
heavily seasoned. Yeah.
You've got to get extra seasoning on everything.
Yeah.
Like when we order Wingstop, I order
Okay.
it specifically for the fries. 'Cause you can
There
get
you go.
wings fucking anywhere.
True.
And
And
I'm
the
like,
Wingstop's pretty solid.
it
but
is pretty good though. Yeah,
they're not
it.
like incredible.
Their Korean one is good. I like their
Okay.
Korean barbecue one.
Okay.
So we're gonna go on now to teenage Derek.
Okay.
So,
Moving on up.
what kind of foods did you start to like when you started to like eat things that maybe your parents weren't feeding you, or like just stuff that you were like, I'm developing a taste for this, and yeah.
I'm sure there's a better answer to this, but the first thing I thought of is Wendy's. Because for some reason, I don't know if it was just a little bit further from our house or what the reason was, but we didn't go to Wendy's that much when I was younger. Then in high school, like had a job, had a car kind of thing. I started going to
Mhm.
Wendy's all the time, and I'm like, where the fuck was this the entire time? Like
Yeah.
it's actually fresh.
That's how
It's
my
real
parents were.
food.
We never went to Wendy's. My grandparents would take me to Wendy's. My granddad liked Frosties,
Yeah, yeah.
but no, that I do love Wendy's.
I just don't remember going there previous to that.
That's funny.
So, but also I would hit up more of the more local, like burger spots and stuff.
Mhm.
Just driving around with friends and
Yeah.
whatnot. But Churls was a good one,
Mm.
and that's all I can think of right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As an adult, like, have you started to like things that are maybe out of left field, or like stuff that you never thought you would have a liking for, but you just all of a sudden do?
Definitely more recently, and definitely since quarantine has started.
Yeah.
Because now that I have a little bit more time on my hands, I started doing like this cooking thing through
Mhm.
Every Plate, where they just send you the ingredients and the recipes, of course,
Yeah.
because I'm an idiot. But
Hey, if it gets people cooking, and I
that's
said this,
that's the whole thing.
I said this
Yeah.
before. If it gets people cooking, it gets people cooking, and you
Yeah.
can keep the recipes and venture out from there, type of stuff. It's
Exactly,
just like
that's
it's just
exactly
like
it.
having a cookbook. And
Yeah.
this day, and, and at this point too, with quarantine and grocery shopping being a traumatizing experience, like who wouldn't do it if you can?
Right.
Like,
And like the recipes are pretty healthy, which was part of the appeal.
that's what I've heard.
One of my
It's- yeah.
favorites is not, probably. I haven't really looked into it.
Well, that's why.
but there- to your question, like there are things that I've learned that I would have never come up with on my own.
Yeah.
Because of that. And that's totally worth
That's
the money, I
awesome.
think. So like there's this like Parm Frico burger, and just
Ooh.
creates a new way to put cheese on a burger that I would have never considered. You basically make a pile of cheese and bake it. And it's so good.
It
It
is.
tastes better and more cheesy in my
Was
opinion.
it? Were we talking about when we were walking a few weeks ago about baking Parmesan cheese into chips? Was I talking to you about that, or was that Aaron?
I'm sure it probably came up, but I don't know about chips.
Because
It does have that
I know.
crispiness though.
We were talking. I think you were talking about baking cheese into things, and I might have mentioned.
Oh yeah.
If you bake Parmesan cheese like on parchment, I don't remember what temperature, it just turns into like little Parmesan cheese crisps.
I do remember you saying this.
and they're super fucking good.
I've discovered like some other little things, because when I was a kid, we ate American cheese Colby Jack. That's pretty much it.
Spring.
Parmesan on pasta and things like that. But
my brother called it powdered sugar cheese. That's just what's weird though. I put that on pizza. I still
yeah.
put that on pizza with the. You have the two shakers, the pepper, and the what
I
the
mean,
fuck is that called?
The what?
Ground red pepper, just the red pepper flakes. There we go.
Oh, okay.
With powdered sugar cheese. Go on. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay. But just like little things that you find out shopping for yourself
True.
as an
Yeah.
adult has been incredibly life-changing.
Mhm.
I don't think I eat anything that I used to eat when I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, kind of going off of that, I think one thing that's really I feel like our parents grew up and shopped in a very like non-cultural, like a world cultural culinary market. So like
Well, yeah, you have one grocery aisle for that. Even a place as big as Woodman's, maybe two ethnic,
sure.
in heavy quotes, ethnic grocery
Yeah,
aisle.
and I remember like the first time, when my mom wanted to make like Japanese food, they'd have to go to specialty stores to get everything. You couldn't buy that at
Right.
Walmart or
Yeah, totally.
and I think it's really interesting that we grew up in the end of that. And by the time, we are adults now, our generation starting to have kids, we have like Trader Joe's, which is basically a massive ethnic food store.
Yeah.
And, we also have, living in a bigger city, you've got just
Neighborhoods with different types of grocery stores.
and my friends in New
for
York
sure.
have their bodegas and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Like, I think it's really intriguing that our generation has such a wider food palette, and we sort of have to convince our parents sometimes, like, no, this is actually really good. You should try it.
For sure.
Y-
It's easily a top 5 reason to be in the city we're in,
for sure.
especially because of where Chicago is. It
Yeah.
just gets everything.
Where else can I get, drunk and go buy curry, a burrito, and a green bean salad in the same place,
Totally. Yeah.
and uncured pork? It's like
right.
or sausage. But I like that. I like that you've branched out of what just like the simplicity of what you may have grown up with, and to like just
Totally.
learn it. It's really cool when people tell me that, because I think it's like
And having
You're doing the
having
thing.
roommates with different interests and stuff for so
that's
long.
true. We all
4.5
had
years.
yeah,
there, so I learned a lot from you, from Nick, Matt, Bernard. Everybody had. Aaron, we grew up literally in the same town, so I'm not sure that he had anything like crazy new for me to experience. But like, I'm sure there was something from everybody that I would not have discovered food wise if it wasn't for living with them. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
So what is your ethnicity?
What are you? I was just talking to someone yesterday,
Because I was trying to remember. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what he is actually.
Torres asked someone that recently, and he asked it like, "What are you?" And they apparently didn't like that phrasing, and they
shit.
just freaked out on him. Anyway, to the best of my knowledge, because I've never done like a DNA test or anything like that, but I am a quarter Polish, and then I was told an 8th Native American.
Ooh.
And then everything else, there's a mixture of Italian, Irish, French, just a whole lot of things.
You're a smorgasbord.
I am the definition of an American mutt.
Hey,
Yeah. I'm a melting pot unto myself.
someone I know thought you were like Swedish because your last name was weird.
Swedish. It's been changed due to some probably illegal activity by my ancestors. But
Oh, I see.
yeah.
Mine.
I think it used to be like Zola or something. I did a little bit of research on this a while back, so I don't remember everything, but basically we were in Italy for a while, and then we were in France for a while, and then through that travel and then to America, our name changed several times.
I wonder
Yeah.
if your family were like, be cool if they were like con artists or something. Or like gypsies that just travel and change their name to fit the time.
I was told, and I don't know how you look this up. I tried, but whatever.
Probably like the DNA test stuff is probably your best bet.
Well, this story in particular, I was told that my family is related to the general that ordered Joan of Arc's death.
Fun.
Yeah. It's the thing that you want to find out about yourself.
I mean, My family probably just grew tulips because we're just Dutch. My Japanese family.
That's a much nicer story.
My Japanese family are the Matsunagas, which are a very very wealthy group of people.
So I
I
can't
guess.
confirm this at all, but I feel like maybe that's why we were kicked out of France at some point.
Was the distant ancestor also like Pontius Pilate or any of the other damning
Order of Jesus'
figures?
execution? No, not that I know of.
Who was the Roman emperor that had orgies all the goddamn time? Caligula.
I know we are Northern Italian. I
Okay.
found that out in my research. So, what's the fashion capital? Milan.
Milan.
Milanese, I think is.
Milanese.
Yeah. So that's the part of Italy we're from.
Okay.
Everything else though, there's huge gaps, especially in my dad's side of the family. Surprisingly, because my mom's side, I feel like there's way less communication
Sure.
about that stuff, especially between the people that are currently living.
Yeah, that's one thing I can kind of relate to that. In that my grandmother was adopted, and she never told us, and she's passed now. But
How'd you find out?
Well, she told me. She's like,
Oh,
when
okay.
I was a kid, she's like, well, my mother isn't your. I asked about my great grandmother. She's like, well, I was adopted, so your great grandmother would technically be someone I've met, but if we're going off of family, it would be this. And she showed me a picture of like her adoptive mother.
Totally.
But she said she had met her. So I guess the story goes that her parents had her out of wedlock, gave her up for adoption, but they later got married and had other kids. So she had biological brothers and sisters, and she met them in like the 80s and then like never talked about it again. So I understand there's like a big gap somewhere of where our biological line is.
Yeah.
And the only thing we can really hope for is like, the DNA tests you can have done on Amazon that like tell you your literal genetic history. Like,
Right.
and I feel like that's like a blessing and a curse, because I have met people who have literally met half brothers over that, and they're like huge secrets just blown out of the family. Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
Which I really want to take one of those tests. I haven't because of sort of the paranoia behind it of certain companies, which I won't name the ones that seem to be culpable in this, but
I have no idea.
Are selling off information to insurance companies.
Oh.
And then use it, because a lot of it's like figuring out if you're prone to certain diseases and
Sure,
stuff.
yeah.
So then insurance companies using that to affect your rates or whether you're even eligible later in life. So that's the type of thing that I'm like, maybe I'm just better off not knowing.
Yeah.
But if anyone has a recommendation of like one that they know is not going to do that.
Yeah. The only brand I actually know of is 23andMe.
Okay.
That's the only one I've ever heard of. I know there's other ones.
There's the Ancestry.com one.
Oh, they have one too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of want to just do their paper trail one and see if I can find any kind of
That's kind of,
stuff.
I spent many hours doing that, just finding like random documents, like birth records and stuff of family members. It was really cool.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be really cool to look at.
And you get to choose how accurate you think it is and whether you want to attach it to your tree or not. It's pretty awesome.
Maybe I'll do that with like the extra 1,200 we may never get. So, oh, hi, Dylan.
Oh, what's up, Dylan?
Dylan just walked in. So my next question. So relating all of this ethnicity stuff, was there any foods in your family that were like ethnically or culturally to your family like influenced or present? Like, everyone has like a like with Nick, it's pasta.
Sure.
Or with me, it's fucking, I don't know, something Midwestern.
So I can't just say cheese.
No. But like, is there anything that's like, oh, this comes from your great aunt, this person of Slovakia, or some crazy shit?
I wish there was. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I know like what my grandparents and some family members that may not be around anymore used to make.
Sure.
But none of it was ethnically
Mm.
like parallel. So like my grandpa was big on breakfast foods. So whenever I stayed there, he would always make stuff that was breakfast related. But I just my grandma on my dad's side is 100% Polish.
Okay.
But she does not embrace her ethnicity in any way. And she's like the most ethnically pure person
Sure.
easily, so I don't know if there's a better chance from someone else for me to learn like, oh, there's this like really good recipe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish there was.
Maybe someday you'll find. I don't know. I always think there's great opportunity for that. And this sounds terrible when someone dies, and you just rifle through their stuff, just trying to find. I do that. I look through dead family members' recipes, and because that's like the one thing I know I'll use.
Sure.
I didn't do that with my grandmother. With my granddad, though, I'm like, give me the cookbook.
I'm the one.
I think my aunt has it, but I was allowed to copy it.
Do you have like a go-to for your family shit?
Oh, ooh, that's a good question. I didn't even think about it. I wrote the questions. I didn't even think about
You can dish it out. No, I'm just kidding.
Gosh, I would say on my mom's side, it's definitely Asian things. Not necessarily one dish, but just sort of the Japanese influence that was carried. Oh, probably with my dad's side, it's sugar pie. That was my grandmother's recipe. I think I made it for you guys once. It's a sugar custard pie.
Yeah.
And it's just like in a shell custard. You eat it room temperature with whipped cream. I don't eat it with whipped cream. That's a lot. But sugar pie is definitely the like, I don't know. My grandmother's from the South, and it's a Southern thing. It used to be an Amish thing too, I guess. But that's probably the most culturally significant food we would eat in like my immediate family. I don't know. That's kind of a boring answer, actually.
No, I just when you said that, I was like, oh, maybe there's some desserts I can think of that I'm missing, but no, there's not. I can't just say white things. My family made a lot of white dishes.
Just average, upper middle class Caucasian food.
They did, I guess, but it's not interesting.
With my dad, I was telling Aaron, there are definitely foods that like my dad makes that are from family recipes that I've inherited. So I guess like spaghetti and meatballs, that's definitely well, and it's funny because neither my granddad's recipe on my mom's side and my grandmother's on my dad's, their recipes alone were bland. So I literally combined the two recipes, and it was perfection.
Nice.
And it was like,
well done.
With our powers combined, it was like, and I did that at the house because like, holy fuck, I nailed it. Like,
nice.
Well, you talked a bit about your Aunt Kathy.
Yep.
The question is, what people in your life have made food special for you? And so like family members, people in general, and like what might have been their background with food, and what impact does that person combined with like the food you just like sort of, does that impact you at all?
Definitely. Probably go to my dad first on this one, because I know he learned a lot from his father, the same grandpa that made like a lot of breakfast food and stuff. And he also worked at IHOP, so he learned a lot of good tricks for that. But mostly on the grill, and I'm still not great at it, and there's still, I'm sure, plenty I can learn from my dad on that. But that's what I think of when I think of eating meals with my family, is like the grill out days, because we didn't do it a whole lot. And it was always super special when we did. For my mom, I always felt like she was kind of underrated. Yeah. As a cook, she didn't really brag about it, but she was the main cook of the family. Okay. And I always loved what she made. Yeah. Except for the turkey patties.
The turkey patties.
Shit like that. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. How do all of your experiences with food and cuisine influence the food that you eat just every day? Like nothing special, really.
So what that I ate before, how does that influence what I'm
just like
now?
Stuff that you've discovered you liked and stuff like that. Does that have like a major influence on how you eat every day?
Yes. So going back to the cheese aspect of things, like I can't get away from that. Yeah. It's like ingrained in my bones.
For sure.
I eat a slice of cheese, and I have to like limit the quantity. I have a set limit of 1 slice per meal.
Mm-hmm.
I only eat 2 meals a day.
Okay.
So, like, if there's cheese in the dish I'm making, great. But as just like a snack, or as Harvey has witnessed on several occasions, like me getting up when I'm like drunk or hungover and just eating cheese. This is the thing that me and Josh have most in common.
I do this too.
I cannot get away from that. Obviously it's a Wisconsin thing, but even the family I had in Illinois, like they were always big on cheese.
Yeah.
So yeah, cheese is the winner there.
Cheese is the shit. It's so good.
I could be vegetarian, I think. It'd be tough, but I could not be vegan.
No.
I've tried being vegetarian. I wouldn't even give veganism like an attempt. Which is probably my downfall, right? Because it's probably great for you to not eat all of that fat.
Well, I think it depends too on the cheese, because like
Sure.
there's definitely cheeses that are less bad for you.
Not the ones I eat.
No, me neither. I eat like the heaviest. I love heavy cheese.
Reduced fat cheese is a crime.
That's not real.
It's like flaky. It's a texture that cheese should never be.
Like, yeah.
Ugh.
It's like when you grate the end of your foot.
Yeah. Interesting analogy.
It's terrible. The other thing too, here's a cooking tip for all of you. If a recipe calls for if you're making like a cheese sauce, don't use the shredded bag cheese.
Yes, because it's already been sort of, what's the word for that? Like,
it's coated in corn flour. It's coated in cornstarch.
Oh, okay.
So it will
That's
fuck
not the reason I
up
was
the
thinking
consistency of. It'll make it gritty when you try to cook it.
It almost has no taste too. If it's been pre-shredded.
Yeah.
It's crazy the amount, like,
it's dried
I
up.
was given by a friend recently because she went to Wisconsin, so she got me a little thing of sharp cheddar.
Yeah.
And then I had a bag of cheddar as well, like pre-shredded cheddar. And I cooked back-to-back dishes, one with the block and one with the pre-shredded.
Yeah.
And it was night and day.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
probably a different type of cheddar too, but wow.
I mean, just go to
Pre-shredded cheese.
go to the deli and buy just a block of cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much better, and it's
It's
the same
good for,
fucking
like,
price.
It's good for bringing the dish together if it's pre-shredded because it melts more easily. I mean, all shredded cheese is going to melt the same, but pre-shredded, I get it if you're going for the ease factor.
Yeah.
You're just putting it into like
I
bring
mean,
everything.
if you're making cheese on chips, that is fine. But you
Yeah.
know, like if you're making like a dish, I would.
Homemade nachos. Yeah.
Oh man, nachos are this. I love nachos. Yeah. So cheese, definitely. Yeah, love it.
I'm trying to think of something else to say besides that
Oh,
because I've talked a lot about cheese.
What? Well, here's what is your favorite kind of cheese? Like hands down, you just have to have it in the house.
So the slices that I eat
Okay.
consistently are usually Colby Jack.
Okay. That's a good
Um,
one.
but that answer depends on what I'm using it for. Just to eat cheese, yeah. Colby
Okay.
Jack
Yeah,
is
I would say
good.
just to eat cheese.
Yeah.
Mine's Gouda. I like Gouda.
Gouda's great. Yeah.
I have a bunch of it. And I just went to the store. I have a shitload of it in the fridge.
Gouda on burgers. There's something about Gouda with ground beef.
And bacon. It's
Pretty
bacony
awesome.
tasting. Gouda
Yeah.
tastes like bacon.
True. Yeah.
So if you make a bacon burger with a fried egg and
Ugh,
a heart attack on
you're
the
killing
side,
me right now.
dude. Let me tell you, what's like. Okay, I have a good question. What is like the unhealthiest thing you've had during quarantine?
I was really wanting to say your mac and cheese, but that wasn't during
No.
quarantine. That's a great question. Oh, jeez. There's a lot, but I'm trying to pick like the one.
Yeah.
Cause there's like different frozen pizzas and stuff that I've tried, but that can't be the worst thing I've had. And I think the ingredients that I get sent to me, it's kind of up to me how unhealthy I make that stuff.
Sure.
I usually like cut back on salt and stuff, so it can't be anything like that.
Have you gotten like takeout or anything at all that's just been like ungodly? Like I have to have
Okay,
it?
yeah. So takeout wise, I now live near a place called Fat Willie's.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that place
right
is
by the
that place is
movie theater.
good. Yeah.
So at first, and I got yelled at indirectly by Josh on this because I had their burger
Mhm.
first. But I was doing a thing where I was trying all the burgers near me. I'm a huge like burger guy.
Yeah. You also say burger like Bob's Burgers.
how does he say it? Burger.
It's a little more intense. I'm from Nebraska, where it's like
Nebraska.
burger.
Burger. Okay.
Let's get
I
a
see what you're saying.
cheeseburger.
But I tried the burger first, and it wasn't good at all,
Oh.
surprisingly. So I was like, oh, fuck this place. I'm not coming back.
Sure.
But then both Harvey and Bernard and Josh, but Josh like yelled at me through Harvey being like, he's got to try the ribs. That's fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I'm not a huge rib person, but their ribs
That's what I've had.
are
yeah.
really great.
Yes. I love ribs.
I tried them. Bernard came over for a studio session, and part of the plan was to go to Fat Willie's because it's like half a block from me.
Oh shit! Oh my God.
Dangerous thing. It's actually good that I don't like more of their food because
Yeah.
wow.
I've never had anything else. I just had the ribs, and it was because I think I don't even think that was. I think it was before I moved here actually, because I visited, and the only time I really ever hung out in the area you live in is when I was still just visiting Chicago all the time.
Okay.
So, but I've definitely had the ribs, and they were very good.
That's got to be up there for one of the more unhealthy things.
Yeah.
Everything else around me, like Chop Society, they have enough healthy stuff there. Like there's the ice cream mixers and stuff that are great, but everything else around me is not bad. Like there's Panera and Chipotle. Those are two places I go to probably every week.
I haven't had Panera in a minute.
I actually didn't even know it was there. And then I was walking to Target. I'm like, oh shit. That's awesome.
Panera. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what are your top 5 food loves and your top 5 food hates?
Oh, the list now. Oh, man. So much pressure.
It's a lightning
It's
round.
like people ask you your top 5 favorite rappers. And I'm like, I'm not going to rank them. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not going to. Top 5. No, you would do that one. Top 5 favorite punk bands. You totally.
Yeah, but I still would feel bad about ranking them because it's the same issue with rappers. There's so many different.
It would go blank, and then it would go fucking Sum 41, and then no, I'm sorry. It would be a close tie for 1 and 2 between Blink and God damn it, what's their album was huge like when we first lived together. Take it slow. Those guys.
21 Pilots.
Yes, thank you. God damn it.
More of an alternative group for
I
sure.
suppose.
Yeah, but in the rock genre. Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna call this. I only know 3 bands.
Those are 2 of my favorite groups. Yeah. So top 5 favorite foods.
Yes.
Okay.
Can be like
I'll start positive.
Food item. Like.
Oh sure. Okay. My favorite food is the cheesy potato casserole.
Got it.
Can be desserts.
Hell yeah, yeah.
All right. My mom's chocolate chip cookies, which I'm pretty sure are just the Toll House recipe. Actually, I know they are because I've made them a couple times, and I stuck to the Toll House, and it seemed to taste the same. They're really fucking good. No one should argue with me on that.
Just hop on the fucking bandwagon.
There's no reason to mess with something that's so fucking great. Absolutely. So those 2, Ruffalo's Pizza is up there. I got to pick a good burger. So I had a bison burger on a pretzel bun with an egg at Chicago Burger Company.
Was I with you when you had that?
I don't think so. No, it was just me and Harvey.
Okay.
I went there. We were in the area because he was going to REI, of course.
Yeah.
And it was around his birthday, so I just got us a meal and
For sure.
a couple drinks. Yeah, Chicago Burger Company. Wow. That was a very, very good burger. And then my last one. I want to pick another dessert. It's really hard to narrow it down to 5.
For sure.
So I would say, no, fuck dessert. Thai fried rice. So like the spicy basil one.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a go-to for me. And I'm really sad that I'm not walking distance to Thai food now.
You had 2 Thai places at your old place.
We had 3 because the sushi place down the way, it was like a hybrid restaurant that also had Thai food.
Huh.
Yeah.
I went to the one that had like the orange sign. I think that was like Thai sticky rice. Sticky rice. Yeah.
I ate there with you actually.
Yeah, we went there.
And then Thai Room was the other one.
I did not go to Thai Room.
All the shout outs to Thai Room. those egg rolls are incredible. But yeah, spicy basil fried rice with chicken beef combo.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I need to rehab my fried rice experiences. I hate fried rice. And I've told the story before.
Have you made fried rice?
No.
Okay. I haven't either. I like barely have made rice. That's more of a recent thing for me because people say it's really easy to mess up.
Get a rice cooker.
It's actually not that bad without it. Isn't it a 1-to-1 ratio? That's the rule.
While I was editing this episode, I had the shocking realization that Derek's ratio is totally wrong. Rice is cooked at a 2-to-1 ratio, not 1-to-1. This only goes to show how immediately bad at math I am. So I will say again, rice is cooked with an average 2-to-1 ratio of water to rice. Some rice takes a little more water, so be sure to always look at the package directions before making your lovely fluffy rice.
The reason I like a rice cooker too is because I'm Asian, and it's
Bernard has one too.
It was on the counter growing up,
Yeah.
and you can cook you can cook packaged rice in a rice cooker, which I really like because then I don't have to put it in the microwave or anything. Our rice cooker, yeah, it's literally right there on the counter.
I was told by several people to get one, and then when I started getting these recipes, I was like, I'm just gonna cook it kind of how they tell you,
Yeah.
because they assume that you aren't an expert chef,
Sure.
and they tell you just like the easiest way to make it.
Yeah.
So I think the big deal is that people either cook it too long
Mm-hmm.
or it's too wet,
Yeah.
right? So if you stick to like the let it boil and then move it down to a simmer and cover it, that's a big deal.
That's the tried and true
Yeah.
way of.
And I've
cooking on
never
the
had
stove.
bad rice doing it that way.
The way, and the other thing too that I have discovered, I fuck it up on the stove, and I think it's just because I am a little.
You're probably pickier too.
I am, and I don't know. To me, it's something I don't want to have to deal with on the stove
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be cooking something that goes in the rice. I want to focus on that. And I don't know. I literally grew up cooking with a rice cooker. We never cooked rice in a pot growing up.
Huh.
That's just. And my mother would make me wash the rice until it ran clear because there was all the starch on it.
That I don't do, and I feel really
That
bad
can really affect how your rice cooks too. It can make it really
Okay.
gummy.
because I don't have a sieve.
The way we did it, we just used the sink and then would just tip the water out and then just keep refilling the bowl, like the bowl you cook it in.
Like holding a lid over it kind of thing?
No, literally like if we would hold the bowl with the rice just over the water.
Huh.
And then swirl it around, and then like hold it with one hand and try not to tip any of the rice into the sink.
Gotcha. Okay.
Super not like.
Because it's always the first direction. There's a lot of rice bowls for every plate. Just had a amazing Vietnamese steak bowl. By the way, that
Shit.
was great. But the first direction, because you always cook the rice first for them for some reason, you're supposed to get a sieve and drain your rice till it runs clear. And I'm like, well, skipping that because I don't have that.
Yeah, no.
But I should probably try.
If you just do it in the bowl, and I think it's better to do it in the bowl because you can actually see how much starch is left. Because when you do it the first time, you won't see the rice at the bottom of the pan, at the bottom of the bowl. But you'll slowly. It takes 15 minutes too, so you gotta really commit. But when you do it though, you can totally tell like, oh wow, it makes a giant difference because it'll cook. It makes the rice fluffier when you do it that way.
Okay.
Brown rice, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
I don't know why. Yeah.
So you gotta go to least favorites now. I think I finished the favorites,
so
right?
Yeah, you finished the good ones, so now that's the 5
right.
hates.
I haven't had them in probably 10 years, but turkey patties, gotta put them on the list.
Yeah.
I can't believe my family did that to me for so long. It got to a point, a little side story on this, that I would sit there at the table for so long because I didn't want to finish the fucking turkey
my
patties.
parents did that too. It's very Dickensian.
Until one magical day when I was at Pizza Hut and I had eaten a decent amount of pizza, but I just wasn't that hungry that day. And my mom's like, no, you need to finish. I won't put it on my mom. Both my parents were probably like, you need to finish your meal.
Yeah.
A thing that kids probably hear too much. So I was
Oh,
like, all
God,
right,
yeah.
fine. It's pizza. I'll just stuff it down. And then I threw up in the middle of Pizza Hut. So ever since, they never made me finish my food because it was such a horrific experience for them.
My mother tried one time to she tried the thing where if you don't finish it at dinner, you put it back out on the table at breakfast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it didn't work
What a
because
nightmare.
I just sat there and just was like, nope, and I'll be late for school.
Oh, there it is.
It's like
Wow.
I think that was the first time I
Got you there,
outsmarted
Linda.
her. Yeah. But she never tried that again. But they definitely were like, eat your green beans out of a can. They're disgusting, Wesley. And you know, they would make me sit at the table until they were gone, and I would give them to Miles because he liked them.
See, you were smarter than me there then.
Or
Which
I would-
actually, your mom was smarter than my parents too, because they would just let me sit there. They wouldn't be like, it's for breakfast.
There
don't
was
eat it.
one time I think I was like, why do you continue to cook them if you know that I will not eat them?
100%. See, in my case, it was my dad's fault. I don't know if like your mom had a reason for cooking these things over and over again. For me, it was like my dad would request these ridiculously disgusting dishes. But I guess it expanded my palate somewhat. I don't know.
I don't
Whatever.
know. I still, if anyone ever cooks canned green beans, I retch from it. It's
Yeah.
like, no, gotta walk away. It's like Fireball.
I kind of get it. Like, green beans are not awesome on their own.
No.
It's sort of like eating leaves of spinach by itself. Like, it's fine. To me, it's not gross.
It's fine.
But I could see why it's gross.
I'm a monkey. I will eat this leaf of spinach. I am a rabbit.
So I got one. Turkey patties
Yeah,
are
turkey patties are one.
ever on my mind. There are certain kinds of fish I'm not big on.
That's fair.
Growing up, we didn't fish a ton, but when we did, I remember we only ever caught catfish
Yep.
and bluegill.
Yep.
Bluegill was the first first fish I ever caught. Those were fine. Catfish, especially fried, is basically chicken.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a fishier fish. I wouldn't describe it that way.
I don't know. I had catfish when we go camping, and it just tasted like fish to me.
Harvey will crucify me for this, but I don't like salmon that much.
Oh,
It's
no.
It's not a lot. So it's good in like a lox bagel.
Yes, when
That's-
it's cured or
Okay.
smoked. Yeah.
So, and I will also point out that the only reason I'm putting this on the list is because I disliked it so much as a kid.
Yeah.
But there are definitely instances where salmon is the way to go. So this
Yeah.
is an asterisk one. Salmon is not consistently bad for me, but I know Harvey's big on that, so sorry about that. So that's 2. This is fucking hard.
We can expand this to maybe like alcohols you don't like.
Okay, beer.
Oh, really?
If we're counting that as food.
I didn't know that. I think it's because I know you like cider.
You didn't know I don't like beer?
Well, I suppose I've just never.
I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Well, I know you're more of a cocktail guy, but it's like
Yeah.
But I guess I've
whiskey
just
and
never-
tequila always. Really, any liquor is
Yeah.
fine.
liquor.
Fuck you.
I had to.
It's been so long since I've heard that.
I know. It's been so long since I've heard like your guys' voices. It's like,
I know. It's so sad. It's so sad. Hoping for better in the future.
Oh,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Okay, beer is the only alcohol that I don't like.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'd for sure like ciders.
Yeah.
That's my go-to when we go to breweries and stuff that don't have anything else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same
white
way.
wine. Can I count that
Oh.
as 2?
Yeah.
Cool.
White
yeah,
wine.
white wine is disgusting. It's fine in like a mixture of some sort.
I make gravy with white wine. Like
Okay.
the turkey gravy at Thanksgiving is
Even in a drink, like I found out yesterday that there is there's a white wine version of what's that shit called with the fruit?
sangria.
Yeah, thank you. Blanking on that. There's a white wine sangria, which I had no idea was a thing. Because
I-
Every time I'd ever had sangria, it was red wine.
I hate sangria.
Why?
I don't like it. It's too
How many times have you had it? And
Enough.
From where?
I've had it enough times.
That bumps me out, dude.
You know why I don't like it? It tastes very boozy. Because
it tastes too much like wine.
no. Because usually it's fortified. If you drink, I mean, have you had like legit sangria or like?
I've had homemade sangria.
Okay,
Yeah.
Usually I like homemade sangria.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about like the sangria you buy and mix in with wine.
No.
Oh, that's
no, the
like,
stuff that like sits in those things with the fruit.
Oh
sitting in
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's
Okay.
okay. Not my thing.
I had sangria yesterday from
It's a good
new
summertime
new restaurant
drink.
in Chicago. So yeah, it was very good.
I feel like that I would drink that if it was like a hot summer day. Like, I'll have a glass of sangria and a Speedo, please.
So I got 4, right?
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Okay. And also for salmon, the reason I know I don't like it by itself is
It's
because
of Matt Harvey.
No, it's actually not his fault. I was on a date in Roscoe Village once, and I ordered a salad
Yeah,
that had salmon in it,
sure.
and it totally was not what I was picturing. It was just sliced up raw salmon.
Oh, you have to have a taste for that.
And it wasn't salad-like in the slightest. It was, so you know like those flatbread boards?
Yes.
That's how it was presented. With like cherry tomatoes and random leaves and then sliced up. And this is like a $30
He went outside to the
salad.
tree and picked the leaves.
I was so pissed.
I bet I know what it is. Okay, there is that is a thing. You can kind of fudge the word salad
Apparently.
with that because cherry tomatoes all of the sudden makes things a red salad if you have tomatoes.
Nah, fuck that.
So it was probably like a red salad on flatbread. That's totally a thing.
I love Roscoe Village. They have a lot of great restaurants. And actually that one is a pretty good restaurant. So I won't name what it is or hate on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very disappointed that day.
Yeah.
Just had to explain the salmon thing a little bit because I know I'm going to get some backlash from Harvey on that.
I'll bring it up the first time. So Derek says,
First question, Harvey.
how do you feel about Derek hating salmon?
He's going to be surprised if he doesn't listen to this first because...
Actually, his episode comes out before yours. So
Oh, okay.
you're 4.
Cool.
He's
Cool.
2.
So one more bad thing.
Yes.
I need an actual food because alcohol is a cheap way to get out of that. I don't like canned spinach. Again, a texture problem.
But it makes you strong to the finish.
Uh-huh. Canned spinach is disgusting.
Yeah.
It is.
It's so stupid, too. Just buy spinach.
Spinach is great as it is.
And you can cook it in 5 minutes.
I like it more than lettuce, and it has way more nutrients. Lettuce is water. So
Yeah, it just bloats.
So yeah, canned spinach. That's my.
That's a solid hate because I feel like no one buys it, too. It's like,
yeah.
really, someone please email me. Why are you buying canned spinach? I buy frozen spinach.
I don't even know why I had it, to be honest, because I don't know why you would use canned
Probably
spinach.
for like if you're making like creamed spinach,
Oh.
it's probably an easy way to do that. I don't know. I buy frozen spinach to put in like eggs.
Okay.
Frozen spinach is really fine. It's that's fine. But canned, it's like satin festered. I feel like, and when you open that can, it smells like baby shit. Like it is just the most disgusting thing. Cause like old vegetables that have probably absorbed some metal. Like
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
it's like drinking orange juice out of an aluminum bottle.
Ugh.
It's very metally. Yeah, okay. So canned spinach is the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, solid.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about or plug or like anything your heart desires, you can
Well, I'm trying to like figure out where to direct people for things if I plug anything. So I am in a musical duo called Oh Jupiter, and we recently had a single promoted on Chicago's 91.1. So easily our most successful thing so far. So shout out to them because they definitely, we had to submit to get the song on there for sure. Like they didn't find us or anything, but they have been very helpful and very promoting of us. We did like an online interview with them too, which was really cool. A lot of fun putting that together for sure because it made us kind of look at ourselves in a different way.
For sure.
So at O Jupiter Music is the Twitter and I think Instagram as well.
It is.
Could be wrong about that. Okay, it is.
I think it's just at O Jupiter.
Instagram might just be at O Jupiter,
'Cause
and Twitter is at O Jupiter Music. Sorry, Nick, for flubbing this, but we are working on our first like project to put out. COVID redirected some things for us for sure. A lot of the subject base. I won't get too much into this, but a lot of the subject base just doesn't hit in the same way for us anymore. So we had to, we're not redoing everything by any means, but we had to kind of change our point of view on stuff. So Nick will be here next week.
Yeah.
And we're gonna demo a couple songs, some stuff we've been writing too. And I'm really excited to get more out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Also listen to Wesley's podcasts.
Yeah.
Have to shout those out because
thank you.
it's great content for when I'm working and I want to hear my friends' voices.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the We're Getting a Dog one I've listened to way more because I'm not into D&D in the slightest.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
But I'm looking forward to the next one. Did you guys do the Poodle?
Poodles came out. Yes.
Okay.
So then this will air way in the future too. So we'll be premiering season 2 by the time this hits.
Did you guys?
Airwaves.
I don't think I finished that one. Did you guys do like the family poodle related dogs, like the ones that are not poodles but definitely like in the similar lineage of poodles?
Like the history sections of stuff, or
like Bashans, I think, are poodle.
No, we didn't talk about that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Poodles are like the root breed for a lot of those dogs. So
yeah,
when we actually are probably going to cover Bichon Frise in a different season.
Perfect.
Season 2 is all big dogs. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you want to see the books are behind you, you can see what we've ordered. But they're in a big stack. But yeah, no, We're Getting a Dog. Our last. We're filming right after our last episode of season 1, which is French Bulldogs.
Okay.
And then, well, it's not our last. We're going to do like a recap episode too, but it's our last researched one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
Season 2's coming in the fall.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, keep going with that shit. You guys are killing it. So
Thank you. It's a lot of fun. It's podcasting. It's a lot of fun. I miss singing with people a lot. And
the collaboration part of music is the thing I miss the most.
It's almost vital for me to want to do it. It's very
There's that for sure. I was just talking to Nick about that because we have a weekly meeting set up every Thursday for a couple hours, and he was asking like what's the main thing that gets in your way, and I'm like motivation right now, and I hate that because I have more time than I've ever had.
Yeah.
I work from home now, so there's no commuting, getting in the way of that.
Sure.
And the number one reason, other than like the world being a flux, the number one reason is I don't have the collaboration around me.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me feel bad as an artist on my own because I'm like, the fear is that like, oh, are you not good enough on your own?
Yeah, that's totally what I face.
But I don't think anyone is better on their own. That's the answer to that for me. I think the reason that what we've made so far seems to be getting only better is because we have each other and our friends around giving us feedback and participating in the music we make, like the mixtapes and stuff.
I think that that's a huge part too of why I like to make music is, I get to see the progress you make. And what's funny is that I think at one point our musical paths crossed. And I think now we're starting to sort of hit back on our own roads again of what we want to do. Because I've totally refocused vocally into jazz. I have not sung a pop song in a hot minute.
I'm excited for that.
But I love jazz. And I think that, it's a genre that is just, it never goes away. and it's just
Yeah.
it's a nice
true.
comfort spot too for singing too. It's not
Gets sampled a lot too.
yeah. So, but of course, COVID stopped everything, and I don't know, with producing stuff, it's really hard to want to produce material, and because I feel like I'm not around musicians, so I haven't really evolved. Like, I haven't, I'm still sort of stuck.
There's the feeling of being stuck right now for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, you guys' stuff is really good though. Check out Oh Jupiter. It's
Thank you.
what's the single called? I forgot.
Until Tomorrow.
Until Tomorrow
is the newest one.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just an O, like the archaic O, spelled out O exclamation mark Jupiter, but social media it's just an O Jupiter.
At Oh Jupiter.
Yeah.
They're great, and I
Thank
sing
you.
back up on one of the songs. So
You do. You do.
I hit a high note for about 10 seconds.
And on our last mixtape, you were on my my solo song.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. But yeah, no, they're great. They're really great fun to work with. They got me kind of started with music stuff, and yeah. Terrible friends though. No, no.
The baddest
The baddest
of bad friends.
Oh, and Derek, I should mention this. Derek here actually coined the term or the phrase "good food for bad friends."
good food for bad friends.
That
yeah.
is Derek's phrase.
Bad
So,
Friends itself, I believe, started with Dimitri and Nick.
really?
Mostly Nick, from what I understand, but I don't know who said it first. I think it was not that it matters, but it was a conversation between Dimitri and Nick that started
Right.
like, oh, bad friends is the best way to describe
Yeah.
our group.
Well, and
Yeah.
I know eventually too, it just became part of the like intrinsic like existence of our group. Like,
It's stupid self-identifying. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
It's something, if I don't say that phrase in a day, it's kind of weird. Like, it comes up in everything.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
But just to clarify for anyone listening, it's not like we all hate each other. It's
No.
it's we
ironic.
all we love each other to death, but we are shitty to one another sometimes.
Yeah,
So
in the best way possible.
I'd like to thank my friend Derek for being on this show. If you'd like to support this show, don't forget to subscribe and please give the show a rating on your favorite podcast directory. I hope you join me next week for another episode of Good Food for Bad Friends from the Arcadia Podcast Network. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please email us at gfbf@arcadiapodcastnetwork.com.